like 2 minutes of bad publicity when the film hit, to come out and try to blame it all on him. None of it was just due to the fact that she seems like a rather person. Then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke loose. She claims he's her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement.
So normal people at home who don't care about this woman at all are looking at her like, I don't like her.
A Hollywood legal battle heads to a New York City courtroom today with the hearing on the lawsuit between actors Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The U.S. District Judge in the case is holding a video conference on a motion for a protective order.
The word serial fraudster echoed through the speakers, and just like that, the golden girl of Hollywood saw her empire begin to crumble. Megyn Kelly did not just critique Blake Lively, she systematically dismantled her entire reputation in front of millions. This was not just a bad review or a bit of gossip. This was a full-scale exposure of what Kelly calls a calculated pattern of manipulation that is now headed straight for a New York courtroom. As the legal walls close in, the panic behind the scenes is reaching a fever pitch that even a Ryan Reynolds PR spin cannot fix. The mask is not just slipping, it is being ripped off for the entire world to see.
Lively is very dissatisfied with virtually everything around her and decides to allege that Justin Baldoni, this, forgive me, very effeminate, evolved, modern feminist, man-bun kind of guy, is like this virulent who can't stop one of the biggest stars in Hollywood in front of everybody on the set. I've got questions. I'm not sure why he would do that, whether he'd have the guts to do that, or whether the man bun is the most likely.
The drama reached a boiling point when a U.S. district judge in New York convened a high-stakes video conference. The central focus was a motion for a protective order in the escalating legal battle between Blake Lively and her co-star Justin Baldoni. For months, rumors of a rift had circulated, but this hearing turned those whispers into a terrifying reality for the actress. We are no longer talking about who liked whose post on Instagram. We are talking about a formal courtroom showdown where every text, every email, and every behind-the-scenes interaction is being scrutinized under a legal microscope. The stakes have never been higher for Blake.
Sure. That's called fraud. When you pretend you want to do the one thing and you'll do the thing they're hiring you for, but all along you have secret plans to do something very, very different that's above your...
If you have been following this saga, you know Blake has been wrapped up in serious accusations, but the tables are turning fast. While she initially positioned herself as the victim of a difficult working environment, Justin Baldoni fired back with a massive $400 million countersuit. He is not just defending himself, he is accusing Blake of lying and twisting the truth to seize total control over their film. It ends with us. This latest bombshell from Megyn Kelly suggests that Blake's carefully crafted narrative is falling apart as new evidence surfaces. It seems the woman who once had the world at her feet is now desperately trying to keep her name out of the headlines.
Like, seriously?
Started to rewrite scenes that nobody had asked her to rewrite.
What? That's just...
One of the most damaging pieces of evidence comes from an unexpected source, a Hollywood intimacy coordinator named Mia Shatter. In a recent documentary, Shatter revealed that she had reviewed the actual text exchanges between Blake and Justin from the early days of production. Contrary to the claims of a hostile environment, Shatter noted that the messages showed real affection and a deep friendship. Even more suspicious was the fact that Blake allegedly delayed meeting with the intimacy coordinator until filming began. In the industry, that usually signals a high level of trust in a scene partner. If she truly felt unsafe, why would she skip the very safety protocols designed to protect her?
Skulls and laughter and wanted to promote her liquor brand. Nothing says domestic like a bottle of tequila. What?
Megyn Kelly took these revelations and ran with them, delivering a brutal monologue on her show that left viewers stunned. Kelly openly labeled Blake a serial fraudster, claiming the actress had effectively destroyed her own brand through a series of calculated deceptions. According to Kelly, every major claim Blake has made against Baldoni is being directly challenged by receipts, texts, and eyewitness accounts. The narrative of the mistreated actress is being replaced by the image of a Hollywood powerhouse who used her influence to crush anyone standing in her way. For a star who relies so heavily on her likability, these accusations are absolutely devastating.
Foremost, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have hired former CIA agents with a proven track record of lying to the public, gaslighting the...
Perhaps the most shocking part of this exposure is Blake's own words coming back to haunt her. During a Forbes Power Women Summit, she seemingly admitted to a hidden strategy she uses when joining a movie. She told the audience that she acts like she is only there as an actress in the beginning, but once she lands the role, she starts making demands to take control of the production. Megyn Kelly pointed out that this is effectively a confession of professional manipulation. If you are hired for one job but secretly plan to take over another, that is not just ambition. According to Kelly, that is a form of fraud that leaves directors like Baldoni completely blindsided.
It's Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni Day. Finally, I've been teasing that all week, and let me just say to all the women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever.
The power struggle on the set of It Ends With Us reportedly became so toxic that 2 separate versions of the movie were created. Rumors suggest that Baldoni's original cut actually tested much better with audiences, yet it was Blake's version that ultimately hit the theaters. How did she pull that off? Allegedly, she used her massive social capital and industry connections to pressure the studio. There are claims she even threatened to pull a Taylor Swift song from the film's trailer if she did not get her way. It was a high-stakes game of chicken that she won, but the victory may have cost her everything in the long run.
To compartmentalize, Blake Lively is not a good person. So no matter what happens in this lawsuit, no matter who wins in the end, do not let it distract you from the fact that she has proven herself not to be a kind person.
As the movie premiered, the PR disaster only intensified. While the film deals with the heavy and sensitive subject of domestic violence, Blake's promotional strategy was described by many as completely tone-deaf. She was seen laughing in interviews, telling fans to grab their florals and head to the theater like it was a fun girls' night out. At the same time, she was busy promoting her new hair care line and her non-alcoholic beverage brand. Critics were quick to point out the hypocrisy of using a film about trauma to sell gin and shampoo. It was a massive miscalculation that made her look out of touch and opportunistic. Instead of taking accountability for the backlash, reports suggest that Blake and Ryan Reynolds tried to force Justin Baldoni to take the fall. They reportedly drafted a public apology and demanded that Baldoni and his production company release it, effectively claiming responsibility for the PR mess. Baldoni's team reportedly refused, asking why he should apologize for a disaster he did not create. This move backfired spectacularly, as it made the power couple look like they were trying to bully a smaller creator into silence. Megyn Kelly highlighted this as a prime example of why people are starting to see Blake in a very different light. The comparisons being made in the media right now are the kind that can end a career overnight. Megyn Kelly did not hold back when she compared Blake Lively to Amber Heard, noting that both actresses seem to use the legal and media systems to target their male counterparts. We all remember the explosive 2022 defamation trial that ruined Heard's reputation, and Kelly suggests Blake is heading down a similar path. When a mainstream voice like Kelly starts using that kind of language, it signals a massive shift in public perception. The Golden Girl image is being replaced by something much more legalistic and controversial. Justin Baldoni is not backing down, and his legal strategy appears to be a full-court press. Beyond the $400 million in damages, he is accusing the Lively Reynolds camp of spreading false and edited information to ruin his life. He has even launched a website to share unedited text messages so the public can see the full timeline for themselves. This move is a direct challenge to the narrative Blake's team has worked so hard to build. By putting the raw data out there, Baldoni is betting that the truth will be his best defense against the Hollywood machine. It is a bold move that has Blake's team scrambling. The legal documents reveal a desperate attempt by Ryan Reynolds to shut the whole thing down. His legal team filed a motion to dismiss, arguing that Baldoni's lawsuit was simply an attempt to embarrass the couple. They claimed Baldoni was acting out of pure resentment because he could not handle Blake's success or her creative input. However, the judge was not convinced by the star power defense. In a major blow to the couple, the motion to dismiss was denied. This means the case is going to discovery, where even more private communications and behind-the-scenes secrets will likely be made public. With the trial moving forward, the panic has reached an all-time high. Blake has reportedly taken the extreme step of hiring Nick Shapiro to manage the fallout. Shapiro is not your average Hollywood publicist. He is a former CIA deputy chief of staff and a senior advisor to the Obama administration. When you bring in a literal counterterrorism and national security expert to handle your PR, you are telling the world that this is no longer just a movie feud. This is a full-blown crisis that requires high-level intelligence and narrative control. It is a move that screams that something much bigger is about to break. The involvement of a former CIA official suggests that Blake's team is preparing for a war of information. Shapiro's background in managing national security crises and shaping complex narratives is exactly what you need when your public image is in freefall. However, some critics argue that this move actually makes her look more guilty. If everything was a simple misunderstanding, why do you need a government-level fixer to handle the messaging? It feels like an admission that the evidence coming out in court is going to be far worse than anyone currently realizes. The controversy has also caught the attention of major political influencers, taking the drama far beyond Hollywood. Candace Owens has dedicated nearly 20 episodes of her show to the Lively vs. Baldoni lawsuit, garnering over 130 million views across social media. Owens has been a vocal supporter of Baldoni, telling her audience that Blake is a prime example of someone trying to use a serious movement for personal gain. This crossover into the political sphere has brought a whole new audience to the scandal, and they are not nearly as forgiving as the typical movie-going public. Other conservative media voices like Brett Cooper have joined the fray, further amplifying the pro-Baldoni narrative. This unified front of online creators has kept the story alive long after the movie left theaters. Baldoni's lawyer even acknowledged how much these social media voices have helped their case by keeping the pressure on Blake and Ryan. Usually, a celebrity can wait for the news cycle to move on, but this time, the internet refuses to let it go. Every move Blake makes is being analyzed by millions of people who are no longer buying the polished Hollywood version of the story. The legal implications here could be far-reaching. If Baldoni can prove that Blake manipulated contracts or used threats to gain control of the film, she could face massive financial penalties. But beyond the money, there is the threat of criminal territory if any of her claims are proven to be intentionally false. While celebrities rarely face jail time for civil disputes, the accusation of fraud is a serious one that could lead to a permanent blacklisting in the industry. The once untouchable actress is now finding out that even the biggest stars have to play by the rules when a courtroom is involved. The fallout is also affecting Ryan Reynolds, whose own reputation as the most likable guy in Hollywood is being dragged down with his wife. The couple has always been seen as a united front, but now that unity is being viewed as a coordinated effort to bully smaller creators. If the lawsuit proves that Ryan was actively involved in trying to silence Baldoni, his own brands and movie deals could be at risk. Fans are starting to question if the witty, charming persona we see on camera is just another layer of the calculated strategy Megyn Kelly described. As the court date approaches, the tension on the Lively Reynolds team is reportedly palpable. They are facing a mountain of evidence that contradicts their initial story, and their attempts to dismiss the case have failed. The strategy of using a CIA fixer and high-priced lawyers has not stopped the bleeding. In fact, every new development seems to bring more scrutiny. For a couple that has spent decades carefully curating their image, this level of exposure is a nightmare. They are no longer in control of the narrative, and that is the one thing a Hollywood power player fears most. Megyn Kelly's role in this cannot be understated. By being one of the first major media figures to call out the inconsistencies in Blake's story, she gave others the permission to do the same. Her platform reaches a massive audience that values blunt honesty over celebrity worship. When she uses words like fraudster and Amber Heard, she is framing the entire debate in a way that is incredibly difficult for a PR team to fight. She is not just reporting the news, she is setting the tone for how the public perceives the entire legal battle. The unedited text messages released by Baldoni's team are perhaps the most damning part of the saga so far. They show a professional relationship that was respectful and even warm, directly contradicting the claims of harassment. If Blake's accusations were based on a specific incident, the timeline of her friendly messages makes those claims look like an afterthought used for leverage. In the court of public opinion, the person with the receipts usually wins, and right now, Baldoni's folder is looking very full. Blake is running out of ways to explain away the evidence. The question now is whether Blake Lively can ever truly recover from this. Hollywood has a short memory, but a reputation for being difficult and manipulative is a hard label to shake. If she loses this $400 million lawsuit, it will be a historic blow to her career and her finances. Even if she wins, the damage done by Megyn Kelly and the viral videos may be permanent. The world has seen a side of the actress that does not match the florals and the smiles, and once that trust is broken, it is almost impossible to earn back. This entire situation has spiraled into something much larger than a typical Hollywood feud. It is a collision of legal strategy, political influence, and a massive shift in how the public views its most beloved stars. Blake Lively's reputation is currently hanging by a thread, and with the judge refusing to dismiss the case, the real drama is only just beginning. Whether she can survive this exposure or if this marks the end of her reign as the industry's golden girl remains to be seen. One thing is certain, when you go up against receipts and a $400 million lawsuit, charm alone is not going to save you.